You're listening to the Computer Repair Academy podcast, a show that's your go-to podcast for easy tech fixes, pro tricks, computer repair tips, and everything you need to keep your computer running smoothly. So if you're ready to upgrade your tech game, then let's dive in.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Computer Repair Academy podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy, and today we're talking about one of the most important yet often overlooked aspects of computer maintenance, data backups. Yep, we're diving deep into the world of computer backups and backup strategies. Trust me, if you've ever lost important files, you'll know how crucial it is to have a solid backup plan. In this episode, we'll cover why backups are so important, the different types of backup strategies, and how you can protect your data from disasters. So, if you're ready to safeguard your digital life, let's get started. Let's kick things off with a simple question. Why do you need to back up your data? Well, imagine this. You're working on an important project, and suddenly your hard drive fails. Or worse, you get hit with a ransomware attack. Without a backup, all your files could be gone in an instant. Scary, right? There are plenty of other reasons why you should back up your data often, but here are a few big ones. Hard drive failure. No matter how reliable your hardware seems, hard drives can fail unexpectedly. Whether it's an old spinning HDD or a shiny new SSD, nothing lasts forever. Ransomware and malware. Cyber attacks are becoming more common, and ransomware can lock you out of your own data unless you pay a ransom. Having a backup means you don't need to cave to these criminals. Accidental deletions. We've all been there. You accidentally delete an important file and empty the recycle bin. Without a backup, that data could be lost forever. Yes, there are programs to help recover deleted files, but why get to that point? Natural disasters. Fires, floods, and other unforeseen disasters can physically damage your devices, making it impossible to recover data without a backup stored elsewhere. Always remember that your data is one of a kind. Whether it's work documents, family photos, or personal projects, you can't afford to lose it. Having a backup strategy in place is like having insurance for your digital life. All right, so now that we know why backups are important, let's talk about the different types of backups you can use. Not all backups are created equal, and choosing the right method depends on your needs. The most straightforward backup is a full backup. This means copying every single file on your system and saving it to another location. The benefit here is that you're backing up everything, so nothing is missed. However, it can take a long time to create and use a lot of storage space. An incremental backup is a bit smarter. Instead of copying everything, it only backs up the files that have changed since the last backup. This method saves time and storage space because you're not constantly duplicating data that hasn't changed. So, for example, you run a full backup on Sunday, and then on Monday, only the new or modified files are backed up. A differential backup is similar to an incremental backup, but with a key difference. It backs up all the changes made since the last full backup, not just the changes from the previous incremental one. So if you did a full backup on Sunday and differential backups on Monday and Tuesday, Tuesday's backup would include all changes from Sunday onward. Combining full, incremental, and differential backups is a great way to balance storage space and time efficiency. You can run a full backup once a week and supplement it with incremental backups daily. Okay, so now that we've talked about the types of backups, let's move on to where you should store your backups. Having a backup strategy isn't just about creating backups, it's about making sure they're safe. One of the easiest and most affordable options is using external hard drives. You can plug them into your computer and back up your files easily. They're portable, relatively cheap, and give you a physical copy of your data. The downside, if you keep the external drive in the same location as your computer, it could be lost in case of theft or a disaster. For added security, many people turn to cloud storage solutions. Services like Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive, and iCloud offer plenty of space, and they automatically sync your files to the cloud. The advantage here is that your data is stored off-site, so even if something happens to your physical hardware, your files are safe. However, you'll need a reliable internet connection, and some services have storage limits. 3 really great automated cloud backup services we like are iDrive, Backblaze, and CrashPlan. These are really good backup services, and I suggest taking a peek if you haven't before. We'll have links for these in the show notes. If you're looking for a little more local control over your backups, consider using a NAS device. A NAS is essentially a mini server that stores your data and connects to your network. It's like having your own personal cloud. NAS devices are great for backing up multiple devices and give you access to your files from anywhere, but they can be a bit more expensive and complex to set up. We really like Synology and QNAP NAS devices. Let's also look into one of the best backup methods, the 3-2-1 backup rule, where you keep 3 copies of your data, you store them in 2 different formats, like cloud and an external hard drive, and have at least 1 copy of data offsite, like the cloud. This ensures your data is safe no matter what happens. Now let's talk about whether you should run automated or manual backups. Automated backups are incredibly convenient. Once you set them up, your system takes care of everything for you. You can schedule daily, weekly, or monthly backups, depending on how often your data changes. Programs like Acronis True Image, Macrium Reflect, or built-in tools like Windows Backup and Time Machine for Mac all offer automation options. The beauty of automation is that you never have to worry about forgetting to back up your data. It's always happening in the background. Manual backups, on the other hand, require you to manually copy your files to another location. This method works fine if you don't need constant backups, but it's easy to forget, and that's the last thing you want if disaster strikes. If you can, always opt for automated backups. That way, you never have to worry about whether your data is backed up. Just be sure to check up on the backups or set up alerts if backups fail. All right, now that you've got some good backup options, let me hit you with a little data horror story. This one involves a small business, an accounting firm. So this client calls us absolutely freaking out. Their computer was throwing a boot device not found error. And of course, all of their client data, financial records, everything was stored on this single computer in the office. They thought they were doing backups, but when I asked more about it, they basically admitted that they hadn't actually checked the backup system in over a year. So unfortunately, their computer hard drive had failed. And I'm not talking about a minor glitch. This thing went down in flames. It was completely unrecoverable. We even sent it out to a data recovery specialist, and they couldn't recover the data either. So the firm had lost a year's worth of client data, tax filings, financial records, everything a small business needs to keep running. The hard drive was toast. And the worst part, their backup wasn't really a backup. It was just random copies of some files here and there, and even better, that wasn't running properly. And obviously, they never checked to see if it was actually doing its job. Always check your backups, people. You can even set up backup alerts. Unfortunately, this story didn't have a happy ending. They had to rebuild everything manually from paper records and emails, which took months of extra work. They lost clients, lost revenue. It was a total nightmare for them, all because they didn't have a reliable $100 backup system in place. So here's the takeaway. If you're running a business or you've got critical data of any kind, you need to have a backup system in place that you regularly check. I don't care if it's automated, but make sure those backups are actually happening. And always have a secondary backup, whether it's in the cloud or on a different device. Okay, let's lighten the mood back up and talk about some of the best backup software available. Whether you're looking for a free or paid solution, there are plenty of options. Acronis True Image is one of the most comprehensive backup solutions available. It offers full system image backups, which I love, cloud backups, and even full-blown anti-ransomware protection. If you're serious about protecting your data, this is a great option. Macrium Reflect is another excellent tool, offering both free and paid versions. It's easy to use and allows you to create full and incremental backups with scheduled automation. It's especially popular for creating clones of your hard drive, which can be helpful if you're upgrading or migrating to a new system. For a quick and easy solution, you can also use Windows Backup or Time Machine for Mac. These are built into your operating system and provide a solid basic backup option. While they don't have all the bells and whistles of premium software, they're free and get the job done for most users. And there you have it. Backing up your data doesn't have to be a complicated process, but it's one of the most important steps you can take to protect yourself from data loss. Let's quickly recap our backup tips. Be sure to back up your data regularly to avoid losing important files in case of hardware failure, cyber attacks, or accidental deletions. Choose the right backup strategy for you, whether it's a full, incremental, or differential backup. Be sure to store your backups in safe locations like external drives, cloud storage, or NAS devices. And lastly, automate your backups whenever possible to ensure you're always protected. I hope today's episode gave you the tools you need to create a solid backup plan. If you have any questions or want to share your backup setup, feel free to reach out on social media or shoot us a message. And don't forget to subscribe for more tech tips and tricks to keep your system backed up and protected.
Thanks again for tuning in to the Computer Repair Academy podcast. Until next time, keep those PCs running smoothly.